That's the unmistakable chime of the tower clock at the Ghana Post Office in the heart of the central business district of Accra. It's a timepiece that has been a popular landmark for several decades in the bustling city center. The tower clock here at the central business district next to Ghana Post Service is one that is of immense value to people here in the town. It's in the central business district. And for more than a decade, more than a century, in fact, it has been one of the most important, timeless artifacts you find in this town. But today, the clock is not ticking. It is not working. And the reason is simple. It's because this particular edifice has two main challenges: maintenance and the funds needed to do it.
It's been there since I was born, and I don't know the actual date, but it's a beautiful monument. I've not seen it anywhere. It was built by, I think, the colonial masters.
It means a lot. It means a lot because in the morning it will ring. Then workers will be rushing to work. 12 o'clock it will ring. The school children, but sometimes it came to a time that, you see, we are running shifts in the schools. So when it's 12 o'clock, it will ring, then the morning session will close, then the afternoon session will come. So we've been hurrying ourselves to school. 4:30 it will ring, workers will close. Then that's what we all know about it.
Like the Elizabeth Tower in London, popularly known as Big Ben, for many residents, Accra's tower clock is much more than just a timepiece, as 57-year-old Aquile told me.
What you do your post office here?
Our kids use the clock at the post office to update themselves. They come to you at exactly 12 noon to complain of hunger when they hear the 12 o'clock chimes. Also on New Year's Eve, we don't notice we have entered a new year because the clock no longer chimes at 12. We only realize we have entered a new year when drivers honk.
Strange things can happen when the clock chimes at the stroke of midday across Central.
All I know about it is when it's 12 noon, it has this siren that it blows. And people around this area or elsewhere, when you hear it, they make the sign of cross. I don't know what that means.
Really?
Yes, anybody around here, when it's 12 o'clock and they hear of it, they make the sign of cross.
But for 4 years, the historic artifact has not been working. Let's go in and find out what exactly the problem is. The man who mans it is with us. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, sir.
So, how does this clock work in the first place?
You know, it has been said that when it is 12 o'clock, this watch, when it is on the dot, 12 o'clock, there's a bell up there, which will ring before the alarm, the siren at the gate will also blow.
Okay.
That is how it works.
Okay. Now, is this clock working?
No place.
What's the problem?
Place. It is technically. About, let's say, 4 years ago, I can say it is not working. It has not been easy to get this very machine. Yeah, that's why it has not.
So as it is now, this clock is done, it's spoiled, it cannot work again. It has to be replaced.
It had to be replaced.
So, if it's a question of replacing the old clock with the new one, what's the holdup? That's what I asked the head of estates at the Ghana Post, Charles Esiru.
We're trying to get somebody locally to see how best they can fix this machine for us. We got in touch with Gratis Foundation in Tema. They came around, they looked at the machine and they said no. The manufacturers no longer manufacture the parts for that clock. The best they can do for us is to import those parts for us, which means that if the manufacturers themselves are no longer manufacturing those parts, you have to place an order for those parts. They got us a quote, but we thought that looking at what they were supposed to do, the price we're supposed to pay for that job, and what will happen thereafter, because you can't be 100% sure that it is only those parts that are faulty or that will be needed for the rest of the life of the clock. So we compared and we thought that it would be better for us to get a new clock altogether to fix.
Right. So clearly it's a question of getting a new clock. How much will it cost us to get the new clock?
We tried, we said actually we were going to pay almost about 6,500 USD to get a new clock, but that is without the siren.
But for a company which is struggling to stay relevant, fixing the tower clock is not a priority.
I'm quite curious as to why, in the face of global falling mail volumes, which puts a lot of drain and challenges of the company, we are looking at a siren and a tower clock. Ghana Post has a mission to provide prompt, efficient, reliable, secured communication and financial services for profit. The emphasis on profit. So I thought you would look at how the company will be sustained so that we make profit, than looking at a shared responsibility with our customers in terms of provision of siren services. That's a shared responsibility. So sometimes when we have problems of this nature, I would have thought that you are saying, how can the customers also, or the public also help us to fix this issue?
Okay, so how then can the customers also help you fix this issue?
So since it's a shared responsibility, one would have assumed that you would rather plead that people should come to our assistance so that they can give us some sort of assistance to be able to provide that service instead of we bearing it alone. You see, and one of the strategies that we are adopting as a company to be able to realize profit is to eliminate all on value expenditures. Anything that will not bring us value, we don't want to entertain them. So if you have to provide this kind of service, even we are having challenges, one would have assumed that you would have pleaded to the public so that they come to our assistance.
So you're saying that for the Ghana Post, in terms of your strategy and corporate planning, yes, this is not a main issue for you?
Yes, it's not a key issue. I'm not saying it's not a key issue.
You can do without it?
Yes, you can do without it for now. It's not a key issue. Although it's something that we have been doing for a long time, I believe that for now, that is not a key issue. It's a shared responsibility with the public, and I believe that if you can also tell the public to come to assistance, we'll be very, very grateful.
It's not clear how long it will take authorities to fix this one. What's clear to most residents here in Accra Central is that a big part of the community history is lost indefinitely. Francis Abban reporting from the Ghana Postal Service at Accra Central for Joy News.